Surprise! And guess what? What was a bigger surprise is then the Scott Peterson case, when the investigators look around, they couldn't find any blood. So what's going on? Was Scott Peterson really that good where he did all the cleanup himself? Or was somebody else involved with this murder? Somebody totally different? We're going to go to our all-star artificial intelligence panel and talk with them and see if we can get to the bottom of this.
Hello out there.
Hey,
we are
welcome.
Studio 7-0.
Studio
God, you can
7-0.
start. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm your girl Shavak.
And I'm Ed/Esu, and welcome. If you're new, we appreciate you finding us. We're going to talk about the
Yes.
Scott Peterson case. And if you've been with us for a while, thank you so much for being back again.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you more than you know. And yeah, we got a good one today. But before we get into it,
This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and always be kind to others, friends, family. Thank you.
sounds good, Chirac.
Yes. This
Today,
is a good one.
there was no blood found. A couple weeks ago, if you guys remember, for those who have hung in there with us for a while, we did an episode on Scott Peterson about the timeline, and we touched upon the subject a little bit. We're going into a little further, and we're going to discuss it with our AI panel. Specifically, we're going to be talking to our criminologist. We have a medical expert,
Yes.
lawyer, psychologist, and criminologist. But for the questions we have today, we'll probably just talk to the criminologist. They like to use AI. What we do is we use different tools, many different chat GPTs type stuff behind the scenes. We get the information and we plug it into our characters to play. We don't do it real time because technology sometimes isn't that great. There's delays. Sometimes they go for too long. You can't control things. So until technology there gets a little bit better, we're going to, just do what we're doing for now, but we're using the technology behind the scenes.
This is the AI world.
Yep. So let's talk about what's going on today. So first off, we just want to say that the following information, next couple slides I got from the court documentation, okay? So I just want to show this ahead of time. I didn't grab it off some kind of Reddit thing or something like that. So let's see what it says. So here it says there was no blood or urine or other tissue found in his truck or toolbox, meaning Scott Peterson. Okay. So that's one place where they didn't find it. There was no blood, urine, or other tissue found on either tarp, nor was there any evidence that the body had been at the warehouse.
Interesting.
That's interesting piece of information.
How can you do that trick?
Again, we're trying to be neutral. All I'm saying is that as of right now, there's a lot of interesting in this case. Finally, the boat itself provided no collaboration for the state's theory. Yet again, according to state criminalist KO, there was no blood, urine, or other tissue found in the boat itself. Dun, dun, dun. I don't have that. Dun, 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 dun. That's the best I can do. All right. How you say this? Yoshita also confirmed not only that the players had no visible signs of blood or tissue, but that, as with the pillows and pillowcases, the state had elected not to do any further testing on the pliers. Interesting. Okay. And then finally, police also noticed that the rug was scrunched up. Police searched the home for any signs of blood using an alternative light source. No blood was found. That is really interesting because, I mean, I don't want to be, we don't do speculation too much here. But if we're doing speculation, let's say it didn't happen the morning of the 24th. Let's say it happened 23rd. Did he take her to some other location and did it there? And therefore but come on, no blood anywhere? This is kind of weird.
Not enough evidence.
So this one would be a relatively quick one because we're just talking about this specific topic. We're going to go to our AI panel. If you like what we do and what we're trying to do and get some information and go into this, and you like the AI stuff and some of the other things that we're doing, please consider subscribing. Thank you for you guys for watching this. Please like, comment, subscribe. And we do have memberships now if you're interested in just to support us and what we do. You get early access to our episodes. You get loyalty badges and custom emojis during our live streams, which we'll do more. Right now, we just want to build up our audience a little bit more before we do more than just once a month. And then we have another tier for regular shout outs. And of course, we share information just to that level of membership, things behind the scenes, things that we share only to you guys. So with that said, thank you again. And Shrock, last time I think I went first.
Yeah,
We have our panel again. Just to kind of go
criminologist.
through, up on the top left, we have our medical expert. To the upper right, we have our legal expert. Down below, we have our criminologist. And our lower right-hand side, we have our psychologist. So today, we are going to talk with Chin, our criminologist. So thank you, Chin, for being here.
Thank you for being here.
I'm doing great, Sharrock and Ed.
Awesome.
Glad to be back chatting with you both.
Well, we appreciate your time, Chin.
Thank you, Chin, for being with us.
And go ahead. You start first.
So was there any blood evidence found in the Scott Peterson case, Chin?
Let me start off by saying that in the Scott Peterson case, no blood evidence was found that directly linked Scott Peterson to the murder of his wife, Lacey Peterson, and their unborn son, Connor. The investigation, which led to Scott Peterson's conviction, relied heavily on circumstantial evidence rather than physical evidence like blood. The most notable instance involved a mattress recovered from a burned-out van that was discovered near the Peterson home shortly after Lacey Peterson's disappearance. There were indications of potential blood evidence related to a mattress found in a burned van close to where Lacey disappeared. Subsequent tests did not confirm human blood presence, leading to ongoing debates about its relevance in Scott Peterson's conviction.
That's interesting because maybe that burnout was a part where the blood was on, and that's amazing how there's no blood evidence there, though. That's interesting.
Exactly. And they checked the blood. They checked it on the mattress as well.
Yeah. That's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Something weird there.
Yeah, it's just so many loopholes in here. Just that. So I have another question for you, Chin. What are some common methods murders try to clean up blood from a crime scene?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
With the common methods, I'd like to. I mean, I would
Not
like
giving
to know,
anyone
but-
any ideas.
No, not giving any ideas. This is for education chamber purposes only. We're just trying to figure out, okay, why was there blood? Is there some common methods? Because maybe,
Cleaning up blood from a crime scene is a challenging task because blood has unique properties that make it difficult to remove completely, despite the meticulous efforts of perpetrators. Forensic techniques often reveal traces of blood that can be crucial in solving crimes. Here are some common methods that murderers might use to attempt to clean up blood from a crime scene. Washing with water and detergents, using bleach, painting over bloodstains, replacing or removing contaminated items, burning, vacuuming with a wet or dry vacuum, applying heat or steam, and using enzymatic cleaners. Specialized enzymatic cleaners are designed to break down organic materials like blood. While these are more effective than household cleaners, forensic testing can often still detect traces of blood.
That's wild. That's stuff I didn't know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I know. Cool. He mentioned burning, which is what happened here. So sounds like that was part of that burned out mattress.
Yes.
So what are some common methods investigators do to detect blood at crime scene then, if people are doing all this stuff to try to hide things?
That's a good question.
Detecting blood at a crime scene is a critical component of forensic investigation, even when attempts have been made to clean it up. Forensic scientists have various techniques to reveal and analyze blood evidence. Would you like me to provide you some common methods?
Yeah,
that'd
I'd
be
like to
nice.
hear some.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, bear with me as this list is long,
Oh, okay.
but I will provide you some common methods investigators use. Here we go. Visual inspections like alternate light sources such as UV light
Yeah, that UV
and
light.
other alternate light sources can help make bloodstains more visible by causing the blood to fluoresce. Chemical tests like luminol, which is a chemiluminescent compound that emits a blue glow when it reacts with the iron in hemoglobin, It is highly sensitive and can detect blood traces even after attempts to clean them. Another method is advanced imaging and microscopy, such as microscopic analysis, to find detailed examination of blood patterns and to identify specific blood cells or other components. Genetic and biochemical analysis is another powerful method. For example, DNA profiling, which takes blood samples, are analyzed for DNA which can identify the individual from whom the blood came. Yet another method is bloodstain pattern analysis, in which investigators analyze the size, shape, distribution, and location of bloodstains to understand the events that led to their formation.
Wow.
Collection techniques, swabbing and cutting out samples. And lastly, confirmation tests such as Teichmann test, which is another confirmatory test that involves forming heme crystals in the presence of blood. Again, these are just some of the methods, there are many more.
Wow. Seems like quite a bit. So
Yeah, that is
there's decent amount of methods to try and clean it up. Then there's methods to, seems like there's a lot to determine the presence of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
where
how
police are
difficult?
located.
Yeah. So Chin, how difficult is it for someone to totally remove all traces of blood then, given all these methods that investigators use?
Exactly.
Removing all traces of blood evidence can be extremely challenging due to the properties of blood
Mm.
and the capabilities of forensic science. There are several factors that contribute to the difficulty, such as the type of surface involved. For example, completely removing all traces of blood to avoid detection by forensic methods is very difficult and often requires extensive cleaning, replacement of materials, and sophisticated knowledge of forensic science. Achieving complete removal without leaving any trace is highly complex and often requires professional intervention.
Interesting.
Replacement, and that's one thing we noticed too when another case we covered. They tried to take out the seats because there was
Oh
blood
yeah,
there.
in the
So
Doulos
definitely
case.
the Doulos. So they definitely, you want to replace things because the blood is sometimes it's just so hard. Like you said, it's challenging to come out. Now when someone finds no blood, I mean that's like, was a murder there? Then it should be a
Yeah.
quick question mark, right? Was like, that was interesting.
I just realized I forgot to include our powered by AI artificial intelligence. So just to kind of review, that was all powered by AI. That was not something we made up. So just want to mention that as a quick little
Yeah.
note. But yeah, I learned I learned a lot of things. Like, I mean, all that stuff is common sense, especially when you try to replace some of those things in the cleaning. It's pretty comprehensive. I mean,
Yeah.
but people who are doing the murder, they think they're always this. Well, usually they think they're the smartest person in the room. Like, I hate to go back to we're talking about Peterson, but let's go back to Photos Dulos.
Yeah.
I mean, he thought he was being hot stuff by going cleaning everything, putting them in the bags and throwing the garbage. Like, really didn't think that they would look in the garage, look at all these things and find the blood, no matter how well you quote unquote cleaned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then throughout the back, it's just like the arrogance that, like, oh, you know better. You get what I'm saying, Shrek?
Oh, definitely. And usually when there's blood, it's just usually sometimes the splatter. I mean, the scientists, they just go into this so deeply. They even know like the measure of like sometimes if it hits the wall, like how near it was due to the height of the blood splash. It's just phenomenal how they do this stuff.
Here's the thing I want to ask you folks out there and put in the comments. It'd be great. Is okay, Scott Peterson seems like an average guy, okay, as far as intelligence. Nothing against him or anything like that. But to have this amount of cleanup is remarkable. Like, if he took her somewhere to murder her and the body was never found, that's one thing. They found the body in the bay. He had to take the body out there in some form or fashion for there to be no blood like found
In the truck.
or let's say substantial blood. They did supposedly they found a little bit of blood in the I don't know. There's rumors that there was some. I have to go verify this. I hate to speculate, the little traces of blood in the house, but nothing like that'd be like, whoa, we found blood at, like in the Doulos case. Oh, we found all that blood in the garage, or we found it on materials that were left in the trash.
Right.
So either he did, if it is him, he either did a remarkable job of removing pretty much all the evidence. I don't know. What do you guys think? Shrock, what do you think on that?
I definitely think that there's definitely not enough proof in this case. I mean, that's just my opinion. Nothing. It can go both ways, but definitely blood, the DNA, physical evidence of that, it doesn't play a role in this case. That's why I think they definitely have a good chance of him, could be free because that's good. I think it's a great job that the LA is definitely
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
And again, if he's
innocent.
guilty, he's guilty. It's gonna be found out.
And one thing I just have to admit to is like people want to expect just because someone died that they supposed to be boohoo and crying. People behavior is different.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not crying. That means you glad? No, it's just that some people like I'm a type of person. I'm not very emotional. People can say, "Oh, why? Wow." To me, because the fact is that I try to just like saying, "This is not real. This is not real." What's going through my mind? I don't cry. I don't be saying, "Oh my goodness." And people just want you to feel a way that you just don't or have this type of behavior. So I think that's just wrong right there. Just because he probably just trying to be supportive. Okay, I don't want to see people because he's a man at that as well. Men seeing him cry, he might think his father probably told him men that cry is wimps, right? Or whatever the case may be. So he's a man. So sometimes you don't see that side of some men.
Yeah, you're just trying to say everybody takes information differently. Everybody has a different pain
Exactly.
tolerance.
Hmm.
So agreed. I mean, and again, we're just saying that there's a lot of information here that seems off. Now, I don't know,
Like, oh,
but
oh, oh, you guilty because you didn't cry.
I know you can't
It's
jump that.
crazy.
So by the time this episode comes out, I'm not sure where we'll be with the Peterson case because this will come out in a few weeks. So in terms of the DNA that they did on the tape, which I think is probably one of the more important things. Anyhow, all I know
Yeah,
is they find DNA evidence
it's gonna be
that's
awesome.
not Scott's. It doesn't prove that he's not part of something and he's guilty.
Yeah,
But if they can find DNA evidence that's not his and then go back to the people that were in that robbery and they could collaborate that, it's a done deal. I think that's the hope. But we'll see.
mm,
I don't know. I'm not convinced one way or the other. All I know is that there are certain things that get me, like, but they're all not solid. Like, the people say they saw her walking her dog. Were they absolutely sure? I mean, how many pregnant women with that type of dog and that type of description,
exactly.
but maybe they got the time wrong? What about the guy who looked inside, kind of had a quick glance? Maybe it wasn't Scott. Maybe he got the person wrong. But if so, how can you look in the boat? And then based on the weight and the body, even if it was cut up the way it was, how did he get the body out there without anybody noticing it, throwing it in the water and not spilling any blood? It's just
Carrying,
something is missing. If it is Scott, something is missing in this picture, in this story. What means story meaning just how it went down.
I agree. I mean, I think this,
Something.
yeah, it's just so many loopholes. I'm just surprised. I think the media actually just has something because they want to see some type of justice.
Oh, it's
We all want to see
sensationalism.
justice. I want to see justice too, but I want to make sure it's the right person.
And this is even before all the iPhones and the social media went crazy like it is today.
Yeah.
So we'll keep on this. Thank you guys for hanging there.
Thank you.
We didn't do the full AI panel because most of these questions deal with the criminology part of this and not so much the other parts. So we'll use the panel when it's appropriate, who we need to use. But anything else, thoughts, Rock? Or,
Yeah, just thank everyone for watching and tell us what you think.
yep. Keep it up with the comments. Thank you guys so much. Until next time,
Studio 70.
yeah, we'll see you later.